Art education is self explanatory in the title, but other qualities that go along in developing art skills, such as cooperation, leadership skills, and creative thinking, are taught as well. Art education carries a bias against it that is considered unimportant, and that's not worth teaching students, particularly children, about it, but this is far from the truth. Art education is important in improving students' emotional and academic skills and should be a required course in all schools. To show why this course of action should be taken, I will discuss the benefits of art education and how it can help students academically and in the workforce. Discuss some of the counterpoints made against art education and the solution for those counterpoints. And lastly, discuss how art education improves a student's quality of life with a mention of my own experience with art education. Art education provides several benefits towards students that can assist them during schooling in their lives. It can teach students important skills to improve their grades in other subjects. One of the most common arguments for art education is it can improve a student's grade in other subjects. This is true as art education teaches various skills that are useful to academia. As stated by Loretta Corsbergio Dracos in colleges in their 2021 academic journal Arts Integration in 21st Century Skills, a study of learners and teachers, arts education may be uniquely positioned and help students develop these skills, while traditional academic subjects are often learned through didactic instruction and passive or rote exercises such as memorization. Art educations invites and encourages students to be active learners. Developing active learning skills prepares the students for other subjects, as well as supplement memorization and promote critical thinking on any material they will receive. There are other programs which promote academic achievement for students, especially young students, such as STEM programs. However, art education provides opportunity for students to develop skills that are not covered or fully utilized by other programs. Laura Mack states in her 2018 TEDx talk, Art Education Matters, so what's the problem? They include observation and reflection, persistence, risk taking, the idea there can be multiple solutions to any given question, and envisioning. These are the tools in the creative thinker's toolbox. These skills have a wide application in both academia and the workforce. Art education is also crucial in teaching students skills that can be applied toward the current workforce. A common misconception regarding art education is that art is simply a hobby and has no practical application within the real world, nor is it a skill that is considered useful in the job market. This misconception simply is not true, as the skills that come from art education are valued more today. As stated by Valerie Strash in her 2013 Washington Post article, Why We Love Artists But Not Art Education, there's a significant gap between what children are told is important for their future career success and what business leaders actually want from the emerging workforce. Creative individuals are actually in demand, not just for art careers, but for careers in business. This showcased how creativity has become much more important towards the current workforce of today, as opposed to what we believed prior. In the current workforce, creativity is seen as valuable for businesses that want to be successful and has led to success for various companies such as Apple and Disney, not just in their creative marketing, but also in terms of design and business planning. As Laura Mack states in her 2018 TEDx talk, Our Education Matters, so what's the problem? 78% of business leaders say creativity is important in hiring decision. Creativity takes time to hone and master, and our education focuses upon creativity at the forefront and helps students master this crucial skill that has become valuable to the workforce of the present day. However, our education is not seen as important by others and thus is not properly funded or implemented into schools. Our education is not considered important by these people because it is believed it does not teach any skills and focuses on academic subjects. This is the common complaint of our education, is that it does not teach any skills that can be applied towards academics, such as math, reading, science, and history, which are considered preferable over art overall, and as such, art is usually cut or reduced in funding because of this opinion. Art education does indeed teach skills that can assist in academic subjects as math, science, and English. Writing an academic paper has a creative element to it, which can help a student write easier. The perseverance in an art project can be translated over towards studying skills or sciences or math. The observation skills that are taught by art can be utilized in reviewing subjects in history or science to enable critical thinking. Alongside that, our education is also considered to take too much time away from academic subjects and thus is not worth the time investment to properly implement. Art is thought to take too much time in exchange for little gains, which is a reason they often are cut or reduced in skills. Unlike academic subjects, art usually is not quantifiable like math or history is, for example, and the amount it can take to do a singular art project can instead be given the more times for academic subjects. As such, when schools reduce art education or omit it entirely from the curriculum, they find later on they don't have the room in their schedules to fit it back in. Solutions, however, are available to address these issues. There have been pushes from school boards to provide academic guidelines in art education, and for schools that do not possess the time for art, there have been some creative solutions proposed. An example of a way to fit art education into a school schedule is from Laura Mack, who in her 2018 TEDx talk, Art Education Matters, So What's the Problem?, suggested the idea of combining art with other physical subjects like physical education or lunchtime in elementary schools to work within a school's tight schedule. Art education can be flexible to introduce with creative solutions like this and should be introduced as it will benefit the students. Art education provides improvements to a student's quality of life, emotional development, and promotes social growth. Art education can help with students' emotional development and social growth, especially for young children. Art education can help students develop social skills and grow as individuals, particularly for young children. Collaborative art projects can prompt development of teamwork and compromises in the case of different art tastes, alongside teaching tolerance for others' differences of opinion or interest. Similarly, critique can allow development of accepting feedback and criticism and applying it to improve one's project or individual capability. I can speak personally that doing group critiques has definitely helped in improving my understanding of other people's differing viewpoints. Positive emotional development in children is a particular focus in art education. As stated by Camille Farrington and Steve Schufelt in their academic journal published in 2020, How Art Education Supports Social Emotional Development, A Theory of Action, one of the most consistent elements of effective art instruction that emerge in our research is the practice of teachers creating a safe space in which students can participate in the arts. Many art educators operate on the premise that participation requires an environment in which students feel comfortable taking productive risks, being challenged, feeling discomfort, and growing emotionally. Art education can improve students' quality of life, which can allow for growth and development in other areas of their lives. Art education provides a quality of life improvement for those who partake in it, particularly children, as it not only teaches various skills, but also does so in a way that is much more enjoyable. As stated by Cindy Foley in her 2014 TEDx talk, Teaching Art or Teaching to Think Like Artists, artists play. They play in several ways. They either play with materials until ideas begin to manifest, or they play with ideas until they realize what media or materials they need to bring that to reality. This showcases how art education can be both fun and help develop vital skills for students. A personal example of how art education can improve quality of life comes from myself. I had difficulty initially in college academically regarding deciding what major I wanted to pursue. Nothing stood out to me. I didn't think college was going to teach me anything initially, mostly because I didn't believe in the idea of spending a long time gathering knowledge for a degree and then getting a job in the field where I couldn't apply that knowledge. However, once I decided upon an art degree, I became much more productive and began to improve in the classes I took for all subjects. I was also much more happier, optimistic towards my higher education, which is why I think art education can improve students' quality of life, as it has improved my own. In conclusion, art education can provide multiple benefits that will help improve students being academically successful in the job market, and improve them as individuals, particularly if given art education at a young age. Although art education is present within some schools, it should be a requirement for all schools to adopt, as the benefit it provides to students will pay off in the end. Art education is important if we want students, especially children, to become successful in the future. Advocacy for art education is still ongoing, particularly within the United States, and with this speech, you will now know some of the positives that can come from art education and be much more informed to make a decision on the topic if art education comes up in the future for your school, town, or state. Thank you.